You're listening to Full Circle Weekly News of the open source community presented by Full Circle Magazine. These articles are compiled by Eric the Unready, and I'm your host, Moss Bliss. This is episode 465, covering week 20, May 11th to 17th, 2026. Nearly 7 years since its last major release, PhotoFlare 1.7.0 has been released. The project was originally founded as an attempt to create an open cross-platform alternative to the Windows application PhotoFilter. Its developers strive to find the optimal balance between functionality and user-friendliness. The project code is written in C++ using the Qt library and is distributed under the GPL v3 license. The final builds are available in app image and Flatpak format. The program is designed for a wide range of users and offers standard features for image editing, brush painting, filter application, gradient application, and color correction. Batch processing of multiple images is supported. Batch processing includes allowing you to change format and size, apply filters, rotate images, and adjust brightness and saturation across multiple selected files at once. The main Nginx 1.31.0 branch has been released, continuing development of new features. The stable branch, Nginx 1.30.1, has also been released, containing only changes related to fixing serious bugs and vulnerabilities. These updates fix 6 vulnerabilities. The most serious one allows remote code execution via a specially crafted HTTP request. At the time of writing, no fixes have been published for Angie and free Nginx. The vulnerability, CVE 2026-42945, rated critical, is caused by a buffer overflow in the Nginx_HTTP_rewrite_module. The vulnerability has been present since version 0.6.27, released in March 2008. The vulnerability was caused by a buffer being allocated with the expectation that unescaped data would be written to it, but the data was actually copied after escaping special characters. The transition of the KDE Plasma 6.7 branch to the stage of beta testing and freezing of the code base from making functional changes, only correcting is allowed, was announced. KDE Plasma 6.7 is scheduled for release on June 16th. Notable changes in KDE Plasma 6.7: Plasma Big Screen, intended for use on multimedia devices connected to TVs and projectors. The environment is optimized to work with large screens and control without a keyboard using remotes or voice assistant. The Linux Foundation has released the 21st release of the AGL UCB distribution, a universal platform for use in various automotive subsystems from instrument clusters to in-car infotainment systems. Simultaneously, the first release of the AGL SODEV reference platform, designed for creating software-defined automotive systems based on automotive-grade Linux, was released. SODEV is a combined product that combines the AGL UCB distribution, LXC, VirtIO, the Xen hypervisor, Zephyr RTOS, and other Linux Foundation projects. The first release of SODEV can run on Renesas Sparrowhawk boards, in cloud environments, or in virtual machines. The project enables automakers to accelerate time to market by separating software development from hardware systems, abstracting hardware through virtualization. Broader support for SoCs used by automakers is planned for 2026. The project is being developed with the participation of Panasonic Automotive Systems, Honda, Toyota, Mazda, Aisin, and Renesas. The project is completely open source. All components are available under open licenses. The researchers who recently developed the Fragnesia vulnerability in the Linux kernel have published information about vulnerabilities in QEMU that allow root access to the host environment from within a guest system. The issue has been codenamed QEMU Tiny, but a CVE identifier has not yet been assigned. An exploit has been developed that leverages 2 vulnerabilities in the CXL device emulation code. In fact, the attack is only possible on the latest branch of QEMU 11.0.0. No fix has been announced yet, only that before the vulnerability was disclosed, information about it was passed on to the QEMU developers, who responded that QEMU's CXL device support is not implemented for use in virtualization. The exploit was tested against the QEMU codebase from May 11th with the latest commit. The exploit relies on the memory layout of each specific QEMU build and the system libc, but the researchers believe that by exploiting a memory scan vulnerability that leads to an out-of-bounds read, a universal exploit can be created that works across different QEMU versions. The developers of the Rocky Linux distribution announced the creation of a separate repository for the unscheduled release of urgent package updates containing vulnerability fixes separate from the Red Hat Enterprise Linux repositories. The Rocky Linux project is committed to maintaining maximum compliance with the RHEL package base, but recent security breaks necessitate an exception. The security repository will only publish emergency updates generated in cases where critical vulnerabilities are disclosed without prior notice and a working exploit exists, but the RHEL developers have not yet released updates with fixes. This situation occurred with the CopyFail, Dirty Frag, and Fragnesia vulnerabilities. The latest KDE Weekly Development Report, presenting the first batch of changes for the KDE Plasma 6.8 branch, scheduled for release on October 14th, has been published. Development of the new branch began after the KDE Plasma 6.7 branch entered beta testing, and the associated codebase was frozen from making functional changes. Changes added to the KDE 6.7 branch over the past week include the built-in remote desktop server, KRDP, which implements the RDP protocol, now supports progressive encoding mode. This can be used for clients that don't support the H.264 codec, are experiencing codec issues, or are using a low bandwidth connection. Switching between H.264 and progressive encoding is performed dynamically. Progressive encoding is more effective for session activities such as text editing, where screen content changes infrequently and only slightly. Additionally, the KRDP server has been optimized to improve performance and reduce latency. The fifth corrective update for the Debian 13 distribution has been released, incorporating accumulated package updates and adding fixes to the installer. This release includes 144 updates that address stability issues and 103 updates that address vulnerabilities. Notable among the changes in Debian 13.5 are updates to the latest stable versions of the Apache 2, OpenSSL, and Systemd packages. The DAV4 TB-Sync package has been removed. Its functionality is now available in Thunderbird 140. Debian 13.5 installation builds are available for download. Previously installed and maintained systems receive updates included in Debian 13.5 through the standard update system. Security fixes included in new Debian releases are available to users as updates are released through security.debian.org. A new release of the previous stable branch, Debian 12.14, is available as well. It includes 99 updates fixing stability issues and 145 updates fixing vulnerabilities. The following packages have been updated to the latest stable versions: 7-zip, Apache 2, Arduino-Core-AVR, dpackage, OpenSSL, PostgreSQL 15, and wireless-regdb. The Suricata, current version available in backports, and ZuluCrypt, unmaintained and containing unpatched vulnerabilities, packages have been removed. Memtest 86 Plus 8.10, a RAM testing program, is now available. The program is independent of any operating system and can be run directly from the BIOS/UEFI firmware or from the bootloader to perform a full RAM test. If problems are detected, the faulty memory map generated by Memtest 86 Plus can be used in the Linux kernel to exclude problem areas using the MEMMAP option. The project code is distributed under the GPL v2 license. Jasper Nuyens, founder of Linux Belgium, who created the framework to use Linux and vehicle information systems, has proposed a simple way to reduce the attack surface on the Linux kernel to reduce the likelihood of compromise amid a surge in the identification of dangerous vulnerabilities using AI. Since many vulnerabilities are found in specific kernel modules that are available for startup but are usually not used by most users, Jasper suggested blocking modules that are not used in the current system or are generally rarely used by default. It is only a single POSIX shell script that shrinks a Linux host kernel module attack surface by writing a modprobe.d blacklist for every kernel module not currently in use, minus a built-in baseline, and an optional sysadmin whitelist. No daemons, no initramfs changes, no AI inside the tool. One script, one run, one blacklist file, and is licensed under GPL v3. You've been listening to Full Circle Weekly News. For more details, see the next issue of the magazine at fullcirclemagazine.org or check the links in the show notes. You can contact me at bardmoss@pm.me. I'll be back next week.